All right, so are we all going to be rocking these like futuristic glasses instead of glued to our phones in the future?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Right. It sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, but
It does, doesn't it? But
good.
it's getting more realistic all the time.
Yeah, and we actually have this article on on the future of AR glasses, and it seems like Mark Zuckerberg is really betting big on this whole thing.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Zuckerberg's calling AR glasses the next big thing, kind of like the next smartphone.
Which is a pretty bold statement, but I guess when you think about it, we have seen this kind of evolution before.
Right. I mean, think about it. Like, we went from those giant, like, desktop computers, right, to laptops.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, everyone's walking around with smartphones, which are basically mini computers in our pockets.
Yeah. I mean, I can barely remember what life was like before my smartphone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And each of those transitions, it totally transformed the way we live and work and just like how we experience the world.
So Zuckerberg seems to think that AR glasses are the next logical step in that evolution, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Like
Right.
taking all that power and connectivity we have in our smartphones and making it even more, integrated into our lives.
Okay, but what does that actually look like? What can these AR glasses actually do that our phones can't?
Well, the article highlights two really interesting core functionalities of AR glasses.
Okay, hit me.
So first, there's this concept of holographic presence.
Holographic presence. Okay, that sounds pretty intense.
It is. It basically means instead of just seeing notifications or like simple data on your phone, you're actually interacting with like digital objects and even people as if they were physically there.
So wait, are we talking holograms like those 3D projections from Star Wars?
Yeah, exactly. Like imagine you're having a meeting, right? But instead of everyone being on a Zoom call, your colleagues are appearing as life-size holograms right there in your living room.
Okay, so it's not like virtual reality where you're transported to a totally different world.
No, not quite. With VR, it replaces your reality, but with AR, it enhances it. You're still in your living room, but now you've got these crazy realistic holograms hanging out with you.
Okay, that's pretty wild. But how does that even work?
It uses something called light field displays. I don't want to get too technical, but basically it tricks your eyes into perceiving depth and solidity in the holograms.
Wow, that's incredible. Okay, so holographic presence, check. What was that second functionality you mentioned?
Right. So the other big one is AI-powered interaction. This is where things get really interesting.
All right, let's hear it. What's so special about AI-powered interaction?
Well, imagine your glasses are constantly analyzing everything around you.
Okay, kind of like our phones do now with location and stuff.
Yeah, but on a whole other level.
Uh,
Like your glasses would be able to see what you see and then give you information or help based on that.
Give me an example.
Okay, so let's say you're walking down the street and you glance at a restaurant, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your AR glasses could instantly pull up reviews, maybe even show you the menu or let you book a table, all before you even take out your phone.
Oh, wow. That is pretty impressive.
Right. And it can be personalized too, based on your preferences and like even your past behavior.
So it's almost like having a personal assistant who knows you better than you know yourself.
Exactly.
That's a little creepy, but also kind of awesome. But doesn't that mean these glasses are collecting a ton of data about us? Like everything we look at, everywhere we go?
That's a really good point
Hmm.
and definitely something to consider. We'll dive into the whole ethical implications thing a bit later.
Okay, good, because that's a whole other can of worms.
It really is. But for now, let's just say the potential for AI-powered interaction is huge. We're talking about a whole new way to experience the world around us.
I can already see how this could be a game changer. Okay, so we've got these glasses, right, that can like conjure up holograms and basically read our minds.
It's pretty wild when you put it like that. But yeah, the potential is definitely there.
It's both incredibly cool and incredibly creepy at the same time.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. There are definitely two sides to this coin. But speaking of cool, the article also mentions this whole other level of AI-powered interaction, and it blew my mind. Real-time translation.
Oh, right. I read about that. Like you could be having a conversation with someone who speaks a completely different language, and the glasses would just like translate everything for you in real time.
Exactly. No more awkward pauses or fumbling with translation apps. It could be a total game changer for communication.
Seriously? That would be amazing.
Think about it. You could travel to any country, talk to anyone, and understand each other perfectly.
Sweet.
No more language barriers.
That would be life-changing.
Right. And it goes beyond just travel, too. Imagine the impact on things like healthcare or international business.
Oh, yeah, that's huge. Doctors could communicate directly with patients who speak different languages. Businesses could close deals across borders without any misunderstandings.
Exactly. The possibilities are kind of endless.
It's like something out of Star Trek.
Right. And real-time translation is just one example. The article also talks about things like getting navigation instructions overlaid onto your actual view, so you wouldn't even need to look at your phone while you're walking.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that would be super helpful.
Or imagine, like, getting real-time coaching tips while you're playing a sport or working on a project.
Yeah. Okay, I'm definitely starting to see the appeal here. This is way more than just a smartphone replacement. It's like a whole new way of interacting with the world.
Exactly.
But let's be real for a second. This all sounds incredibly futuristic.
Oh, for sure.
The article must mention some of the challenges of actually making all of this a reality, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They dive into that quite a bit. And honestly, there are some pretty big hurdles. One of the biggest ones, according to Zuckerberg himself, is just designing AR glasses that people will actually want to wear.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
I mean, remember Google Glass?
Yeah.
Functionally, it's pretty innovative for its time, but the design, not so much. People don't want to walk around looking like they're straight out of a sci-fi movie.
Yeah, no one wants to be caught dead wearing those things. They need to be cool, stylish, something you wouldn't be embarrassed to wear in public.
Exactly. Zuckerberg gets that. The article talks about how Meta is teaming up with like Ray-Ban and other fashion brands to make AR glasses more, aesthetically pleasing.
Oh, yeah, those Ray-Ban Stories glasses.
Right.
They're kind of cool. They look like regular sunglasses, but you can take pictures and listen to music with them.
Exactly. And I think that's the key, seamlessly integrating the technology into something that people already want to wear.
Okay, so design is one big hurdle. What about the tech itself? Are there any other, like, roadblocks on the road to an AR-dominated future?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Battery life's a huge one.
Ah, yes, the eternal struggle for better battery life.
Right. If these glasses are going to be our primary devices, they need to last all day, just like our smartphones. And packing that much power into something so small, it's a huge challenge.
And I imagine all that, like, holographic projection and AI processing must drain the battery like crazy.
Oh,
Right?
yeah, it's a huge power suck.
Yeah.
But battery life isn't the only technical challenge. There are also limitations with processing power and network speeds.
So even if we can make the glasses look cool and last all day, we still need, like, faster networks and more powerful processors to handle all that data.
Exactly. It's a whole ecosystem. All the pieces have to be in place for this to really work.
Wow. Okay. So we've got design challenges, battery life, processing power, network speed.
Yeah.
That's a lot to overcome.
It is.
But even if we solve all the tech problems, what about the human element? Are people actually ready to embrace this kind of always-on, augmented reality? It seems like a huge leap from how we use technology now.
Yeah, it's definitely a valid concern. It's not just about the technology. It's about how people adapt to it.
Right.
There's always going to be a period of adjustment. Some people might be hesitant, maybe even a little scared of this technology. But history has shown us time and time again that when new technologies come along and they offer convenience, connection, new possibilities, people tend to adapt, and they adapt surprisingly quickly.
That's true. Look at smartphones. It feels like they've been around forever, but it wasn't that long ago that they were considered this new futuristic thing.
Exactly.
And now we can't imagine life without them.
Exactly. And I think the same thing could happen with AR glasses. If they can deliver on their promise, if they can really offer a more immersive, connected, efficient way of living our lives, then I think people will come around. It might take a little time, but I think it'll happen. And that brings us to kind of the elephant in the room or on our faces maybe. Like, are we really going to ditch our phones entirely for these glasses?
Right. That's what Zuckerberg seems to think. He's out there saying that AR glasses are going to be like the next big computing platform, even bigger than smartphones. I don't know about that.
Yeah, it's a bold prediction for sure. I mean, I love my smartphone. It's like an extension of my brain at this point.
Right. Me too. So, like, how does he see this all going down? Are we really going to be, like, scrolling through Instagram on a tiny screen floating in front of our faces?
Well, it's not so much about shrinking down the smartphone screen. It's more about, like, changing the whole way we interact with technology. Remember those two biggies we talked about? Holographic presence and AI-powered interaction?
Oh, definitely. Those were kind of mind-blowing.
Right. So Zuckerberg thinks that by combining those capabilities and making these AR glasses just a seamless part of our everyday lives, that they could actually become a more natural, more intuitive, more immersive way to do all the things we use our smartphones for now.
Okay, so instead of, like, tapping and swiping on a screen, we'd be interacting with holograms and getting help from our AI assistant all through these glasses.
Exactly. Like, imagine you're at work, right? You want to check your email? Boom. You could just pull up your inbox on a virtual screen that only you can see. No more need for a separate monitor or anything.
Wow. Okay. So I could be like sitting in a meeting, nodding along, pretending to pay attention.
Haha, exactly.
And meanwhile, I'm secretly checking my email on this virtual screen that no one else can see.
See? The future is all about multitasking.
I like it. But what about other stuff like making calls or watching videos? Are we all going to look like we're talking to ourselves all the time?
Well, that's where things like advanced audio technology and haptics come in.
Okay, haptics. Remind me what that is again.
So haptics is all about simulating the sense of touch. Like, imagine you get a notification on your glasses, and instead of just hearing a sound, you actually feel a slight vibration on your wrist. Or if you're interacting with a hologram, you might actually feel some resistance, like you're touching a real object.
Oh, wow. So they're really trying to engage all of our senses here, not just sight and sound.
Yeah. Exactly. It's about making the experience as immersive and as realistic as possible. And for audio, well, earbuds are getting smaller and more discreet all the time. And there are even advancements in bone conduction technology, which basically transmits sound through vibrations in your skull.
Wait, what? Through your skull? Is that even safe?
Totally. It's actually been around for a while, but basically it means you could have a phone call and it would sound like the person is whispering directly in your ear, even if you're in a noisy room.
That's both really cool and a little creepy. Like, I'm not sure I want people whispering in my skull.
Well, hey, you might change your mind once you try it.
Maybe, maybe. Okay, so let's say all of this happens and AR glasses do become like the new smartphones. What happens to our phones then? Do they just become obsolete?
You know, I don't think it's going to be an overnight switch. The article actually suggests more of a gradual transition. Smartphones are so integrated into our lives, it's hard to imagine them just disappearing completely, at least not for a while.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's more likely that our phones will kind of evolve to work in tandem with our AR glasses, maybe handling some of the behind-the-scenes tasks, like data storage, processing power, that sort of thing, while the glasses become our primary interface for most of our digital interactions.
Okay, so our phones might become like the silent partners in our digital lives.
Exactly. Still there, still important, but maybe not the center of attention all the time.
It's a lot to think about.
It really is. And who knows, maybe there'll be some other crazy new technology that comes along and disrupts everything we think we know.
That's true. Always something new just around the corner.
Right. But for now, it seems like AR glasses are definitely a major player in shaping the future of tech.
I think you're right about that. Well, this has been an amazing deep dive into the world of AR glasses. Thanks for breaking it all down for us.
Of course, always happy to talk about the future of tech. It's a passion of mine.
I can tell. And for everyone listening, thanks for joining us on this journey into the future. Until next time, keep those minds curious and those glasses clean.